Ära ürita olla täiuslik, sa mõtled liiga palju. Stop trying to be perfect, you're thinking too much. When I was 6 years old, I wanted to be a ballerina. After I was able to walk on my bare tiptoes, I took my balance practice onto new heights and climbed our roof. My mom caught me, and her sad silence cut deeper than any punishment. Trying to blend in to make everyone else around me happier was deeply rooted into my subconscious for the next 32 years. By 4th of November 2019, I had created a life that looked perfect to many. An adorable child, a soulmate boyfriend, a proper job with a decent salary, a nice car to drive around, a 4-bedroom house with a huge garden, and even more importantly, I had paid off most of its mortgage. I lived in a great community. My friends and family were well. I spent some holidays abroad, and people around me said, "You should be happy." I just couldn't. There must be something wrong with me, which is exactly what I sobbed to my best friend, Lise. This time, she wasn't buying my crying. You've told me for years how you want to write books. You've told me for years how you want to live in Scotland. You've told me for years how you do all these things for other people. You're 38. When are you going to live your own life? When are you going to make your own dreams come true? When? My best friend slapped me with my dreams. Within the next 8 weeks, I sold my home, gave away or left to Estonia most of my belongings, took my child, 2 suitcases, 2 backpacks, and moved to a city I had never been before, without anyone waiting for me here, without a job waiting for me here, without a plan B. Sul pole midagi viga. Sa oled täiuslik. Her words that there is nothing wrong with me and I'm perfect as I am were enough to give me courage to look for my new self and my sense of belonging. I learned to think and speak in a different way. I had to if I wanted to be part of this community. Coming from a culture where small talk is often considered a waste of time, and where words have no silent letters or silent meanings, it has been a huge learning curve. I've made many mistakes, but people kept saying, it's the only way to learn. But they also said something I had heard countless of times back in Estonia. Nobody's perfect. You see, I've never liked that expression. I've always felt trapped when people used it. And since I was 17, every cell in my body wanted to say, I am. But I couldn't prove it, so I kept quiet. When I was 17, I had some insightful conversations with an Estonian poet, Doris Kareva. Pretending to have more life wisdom than I actually had, I commented on one of her sharings with a familiar, nobody's perfect. With her usual dignity and kindness, she paused and replied, everyone's perfect. Perfection is the only way of existence. She explained that if we were missing anything vital, we wouldn't even be alive. In other words, we have everything we need within us. I didn't fully grasp the whole meaning behind that, but I felt like everything was possible. So for the next couple of weeks, I told everyone who wanted or didn't want to hear that you are perfect, I'm perfect, everyone's perfect. In the world of opinions where nothing is perfect, as you'd imagine, the wind in my sails didn't last for too long. Feeling lost and wanting to belong, I went back to the familiar being like everyone else. I lived my perfect life because it wasn't perfect for me. I felt like something was missing, and the word perfect has something to do with it. I needed to figure out something bigger. My own being, my purpose. My searches led me to the ancient philosophers. Aristotle has 3 conceptually different ways to think about perfection. Something that is complete, so it has all its parts. Something that fits its purpose, so it does what it's meant to do. And something that is so good that nothing of that kind could be better. What about now? People often expect perfection to be these 3 things at once. They want something that is finished, flawless, and fitting into their lives. But these are all based on personal perception or comparison to others. It's important for us to feel that who we are matters. So we are looking for validation, both from within and from people around us. When people ask, who am I? They're seeking feelings of purpose, belonging, and authenticity. There is a longing for clarity, sense of direction, inner peace, as well as the comfort of being true to oneself. Listening to my true self has helped me ignore what other people say, like I'm being or thinking too much. I'm not. Usain Bolt does not run too fast. We don't ask sopranos to turn their high notes into altos. And we don't ask doctors to care less, but still give us the best treatment. I do think a lot because I love it. It's the core of my creativity. It helps me understand things, words and myself included. So today, I invite and encourage you to think with me. I'm going to say 4 common words, and all you have to do is just to think about them. Ready? Okay. Childhood. Sunrise. Home. Work. The words to think about were the same for everyone. What about the images and perhaps feelings that followed? Most likely different, right? As universal as words are, the meanings to them are unique, based on personal perception, and it is reflected on the images in our mind. When I hear people talk about finding or maintaining a perfect balance in life, the image that is most likely attached to that phrase is some kind of symmetry, like scales with even weights or a straight line. As safe as a straight line sounds, it's not. There's no life in it. When I was 30, I lay in a hospital bed and a young doctor slapped my face. Ei pane silmi kinni. She told me not to close my eyes. I sensed fear in her voice. I felt so calm. Get the EEG ready. The injection of the contrast substance during my heart test had taken an unexpected turn. My blood pressure was dropping, the beats became more irregular. 2 grams of epinephrine. This adrenaline injection made my body tremble like in seizures. That was too much for my soul, so I decided to escape my body and witness this TV-like scene from above. They turned me on my back, ripped apart my hospital paper. The doctor went to the defibrillator. It's the machine, they gave electric shock. And the waves on the heart monitor had become a straight line, and instead of a chaotic beeping, the room was filled with a flawless tone. Clear! Shouted the doctor, and everyone stepped back. I'm going to get a parking ticket, and my family is not going to like that. I thought when I saw my body jolting. I felt nothing. They did it again. And again. It was vital for my existence to return to my body. The deadly straight line flickered. A bit down and up. A little lower down. And a little higher up. My lifeline. It had opposites that changed into each other. The beeps were still irregular, and the heart rate was far from flawless. But it was perfect to be alive. For me, this is a proof that being perfect is not a fixed destination, but an ever-changing journey with ups and downs. I needed to move abroad to arrive home in my heart, to find that deep level of connection, that sense of belonging. I am complete as I am with all my flaws. I have a purpose, and like everyone else, I'm doing the best I can at every moment. Thinking differently about the word perfect gave me courage to live fully, persistence to handle all life challenges, and my unique, ever-developing, combined, diverse, and totally inclusive identity as an Aberdeen Estonian. Your story is different to mine. Thank you. But I invite and encourage you to stay curious. You might know what certain words mean to you, but even then, challenge your thinking. Allow some uncertainty into your life. Be inspired by it. What if you could think differently about the word perfect or any other word that is close to your heart? How would it change your perception of the world? Your identity? My identity is in the feelings that are rooted in the meanings I have chosen for words. It is in the story that I tell myself about my life, myself, people and places around me, things that I do or don't. As these change, so does my identity. Like an architect, I can always go back to the drawing board or a keyboard where my fingers are tiptoeing like ballerinas. Ma olen täiuslik. Not flawless, just perfect. Like you. Thank you.